You unlock this door. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You've just crossed over into
common sense zone.
And would you be in favor of a flat tax to do that? Because right now, over 40% of America doesn't pay taxes. Therefore, if you go into office and you say, or up for office, and you say, I vow not to tax anybody that's not being taxed now, you basically secure, very possibly, over 40% of the vote, and the other person doesn't stand a chance.
Mm-hmm. Well, certainly the formula, again, has to be shared equally based on only what we need. Yep. And then that formula based on, hey, let's look, anytime we can reduce it and guaranteed. Remember, that's the idea here. That's the concept. If you take that approach, you're going to cut the budget. You're going to cost the taxpayers less. And then you can start reducing that interest rate down to the point where it's people, I think, would be very surprised to say that, wow.
You want to take it down to the basics. And
right. 12% is really all that I really needed to pay in the first place. And, you know, look, I speak from, you know, as one, I'm struggling. Everybody's struggling to make those tax payments at a time when the economy's down. And we didn't see our taxes go down at all.
Well, see, the thing with the flat tax, too, people don't see is right now, I mean, Obama himself has said he's going to remove $200 billion in corporate loopholes, you know, and he's going to grab taxes from them bad corporations. And the thing is, they're just going to boost the prices of their products. If there's a flat tax, the prices of those products could very well drop down because the corporations won't be having to pay these ungodly taxes that they're having to pay. And, you know, and they won't have to pay lobbyists. I mean, because what good would lobbying do?
And we're not told that they need cheap labor, illegal aliens, to make sure that it holds down the cost of those goods on top of it. So it eliminates that from the equation as well. And we get back to a level playing field. We get back to a nation that is productive, and we need to bring back a manufacturing base, and all trade must be equal. And there's nobody that's going to get tariffed more or taxed more for any special interest or any other country right now. We've got millions of people that need jobs, and we need to do whatever it takes to make sure that they have them, and while we maintain our sovereignty.
Mm-hmm. Well, it can be argued that our current stimulus is unconstitutional on a number of grounds. You have the 10th Amendment, you know, and the sovereignty of the states issue. You also have what can be described as a confiscation of property in the form of money to bail out people and companies who've made poor decisions, you know, from the successful people and companies that have done well. What are your feelings on the stimulus package and the bailouts?
Wrong. And this is where the market needed a correction. And the correction would be for those who got greedy to feel the pain and live like paupers for a while if that's what it took. And those voids would have been filled. That's the way the entrepreneurial free market works. And our government had no business being involved in it. And unfortunately, our senior senator helped just topple that first domino as hard, as fast as he could, for nothing more than political expediency during the campaign. And he should be ashamed of that. And any conservative that voted for that first round, I'm sorry, you can talk till you're blue in the face, but the voters aren't going to forget.
And here is a tough one. Medicare and Social Security are going to ramp up very quickly as these baby boomers retire. And this is basically going to be a tremendous cost to our society. And right now, they're running a $1.85 trillion deficit based on the Congressional Budget Office. And it's forecast to drop to a mere $600 billion. And once it reaches that point, if you look at the tables, it increases forever into the future at a logarithmic rate. In your opinion, what can be done to reverse what they cause now?
Yeah, well, I don't know, short of getting down on our knees and begging for the next country who actually gets out of this mire and starts being profitable to invest in taking care of our old people. That's going to be, I mean, really, it's like selling T-bonds for the aged, used up resources of America. I mean, I hate to be blunt or not to be crass, but that's really what you're looking for, because we can't support it within the formulas we have now.
I see absolutely no way. I mean, I just wondered if you had any ideas, because you're probably surrounding yourself with smart people at this point, and I can see no way out of it.
No. The only way out of this is private industry, is private enterprise, is that these millions of people that are here are going to turn this into opportunities, again, to help our fellow neighbor, to help the common good, to help our local communities, to figure out new ways and think outside the box. I mean, it's a whole new paradigm to battle the paradigm that's being shifted already right under our noses, in complete opposition to everything we stand as a country. And my goodness, that's why I'm panicking. Not a panic now, but I think the sense of urgency about, I wish the election was tomorrow. Because you want to get up there and you want to have a voice, and you want to start speaking loudly, stopping this madness, because right now Arizona doesn't have that kind of voice, at least not as vociferous as we'd like to see, and unfortunately doesn't have a whole lot more to stand on other than going around trying to rebrand something that shouldn't have been presented as a brand in the first place. That was the wrong attitude to take on branding American Ideal, putting a brand on it. What is this, American Idol? That's how we got into this mess in the first place. Don't ask them to go vote again, please. If you know what I mean. The American Idol generation got us Barack Obama. We want them to go back to sleep if they can.
Well, they had
to get their mind.
They had a balanced budget amendment at one point where and I don't know what happened to it. I'm assuming you would be for one, because it sounds like you want to contain costs as much as I do.
That's what I said. I mean, it's based on the populace. It's the same way we run our business here in the state until we had a Democratic governor who came in here and took up $1.5 billion surplus and turned it into a $2 billion to $3 billion deficit. Our now Secretary of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano. But before that, and now we're trying to get back to it, here's the way we balance the budget. We know what we have to spend to make things work. And we pad this much, and we've got this plan in place, and that's how we tax people. And we don't tax them any more than that. And that's what we need on a national level. So I'm so proud of what our state legislature has done here in Arizona. That's my shining light and guide. That and my state party, who is now back to the basic ideals and standing on a solid platform, and will not allow anyone to waver. And that's really where we have to start this reclaiming of common sense in Washington, D.C.
Well, see, California's going through that right now, because they have their balanced budget amendment, and they keep asking the people, we need to spend more money, and they keep telling them no, 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 and they're probably going to tell them again, no, cut the spending. So I think the most of America...
It better be balanced, right. If it's balanced, it better be balanced, and you better stick there. And anything else, anything less than that means somebody wasn't doing their job.
And what about term limits?
Oh, again, that's a constitutional amendment. That's something that, just open a can of worms there. Just like we don't want do we want a constitutional convention?
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.